Ruled by the Sultan Hassan Bolkiah, the wealthy inhabitants of Brunei are currently experiencing an unusual austerity drive with efforts underway to substantially reduce public spending. Long dependent upon its rich oil and gas reserves, which it largely exports in crude form to resource-hungry neighbors such as Japan and India, the Sultanate has recently felt the effects of low global oil prices. Plans are now underway to expand Brunei's refining capacity, with Chinese investors seeking to establish a new refinery with the capacity to process some 150,000 barrels a day. The government is also seeking to diversify the economy away from its current over-dependence upon the hydrocarbon sector. One example of this is its investing in developing a premium halal brand for beef. Despite such concerns, the small Southeast Asian state of Brunei Darussalam remains one of the most affluent countries in the world. Singapore's economy contracted in 2016 and the island nation has cut its growth forecasts for 2017. Being both an important financial center and a major trading hub, the city-state is particularly exposed to any weakening of the world's economic prospects, and especially those of neighboring China. Nevertheless, Singaporean citizens continued to enjoy one of the highest rates of GDP per capita, PPP, in the world, at nearly $87,000 a head, a slight increase on last year. To offset this, the costs of living also rose slightly, with Singapore ranked as one of the most expensive cities to live in the world. This despite house prices falling for the 12th consecutive month in the third quarter of 2016, a trend expected to continue due to a large overhanging stock of unsold homes. Manufacturing growth also weakened. On the positive side, tourism is playing an increasingly important role in the economy, largely on the back of the success of Changi, an important international travel hub and a regular award winner as the world's best airport. The economy of this tiny former Portuguese colony that is now a special administrative region of China has always revolved around tourism, and more specifically gambling. In 2014, Macau's revenues dipped for the first time since casinos were liberalized 12 years earlier, as high-rolling gamblers became concerned by China's anti-corruption plans. The government is concentrating on attracting more recreational gamblers and building on the demand for gaming. In particular, the opening of the $4.1 billion Wynn Palace and the Sands's $2.7 billion Parisian casino resorts over the next 2 months should provide opportunities for Macau's gaming market to expand. After GDP dropped by 23% in 2015, Macau is now back on the up. Macau's Gaming Inspection and Coordination Bureau (DICJ) recently announced that the casino gaming revenue of Asia's premier gaming hub hit $2.3 billion in September, up 7.4% from the same month in the previous year. This continued the positive momentum from previous month, when a 1.1% revenue increase reversed 26 months of decline. In this very particular economy, GDP per capita remains one of the highest in the world. Luxembourg has topped the $100,000 mark in per capita GDP this year, with an increase of more than $5,000 per head over 2015, making it the country with by far the highest standard of living in the Eurozone. It also has the lowest public debt of any country in the region. The economy, which relies heavily on financial services and has rebounded since the global economic crisis that began in 2008, while the industrial sector, traditionally reliant on steel, has been successfully diversified. Growth is projected to stay robust thanks to both strong domestic demand and rising exports of financial services. Luxembourg has lost some of its status as a favorable tax location due to OECD and EU pressure to reduce banking secrecy, while its own tax revenues have been affected by changes to the ways in which EU members collect taxes from e-commerce. However, Luxembourg continues to enjoy one of the highest current account surpluses as a share of GDP of any country in the Eurozone. Income per capita, PPP, has slipped considerably from last year's figure of $146,011.85, but Qatar nonetheless retains its position as the world's richest country. Despite the recent dip in oil prices, GDP grew in 2016 on the back of expansion of the country's non-hydrocarbon economy and a boost from the startup of the Barzan mega gas project. The economy has also received support from the bold infrastructure development program associated with Qatar's hosting the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Household consumption remains resilient, but looking further ahead, the government anticipates a contraction in nominal income. The fiscal and current account surpluses are also expected to decline due to projected lower oil prices and an erosion of hydrocarbon revenues. The government is committed to diversifying Qatar's economy to shield it from the vagaries of oil price movements. With its considerable financial reserves, the country is well placed to defend its position at the top of the ranking.
Tables have turned.